And we're live.
What's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
How
we
are
are.
you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. I
Yeah.
am doing good. It's a
Yeah,
good
doing
week. So
good.
far,
It
it's a
has
good
been a
week.
good week. Yeah.
Got some exciting things happening.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. It's
Yes, we
pretty
do.
cool. Pretty
Yes, we do.
cool. I'm pretty excited about everything that we've had come down in the last couple days.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get us to go live here on Instagram. Just a second. There we go. All right. Well, now we're live on the gram because we do it for the gram.
That's right. All for the
Uh,
gram.
Well, I'm in the healing mode. Uh, I'm in a boot at home, but I'm back at work. My toes are still black and my foot's still black, but I'm going.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I'm better. I'm better.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I haven't been able to go to the gym, but I'm still eating pretty well, so I'm not putting all my weight back on. So that's good.
That's a good thing.
That
That's
is
a
a
good
good
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to work sucks, but got to make
You've
money
been,
so we can
you've been
travel.
traipsing around all over the country this summer.
Well,
And you got to go back to.
we took about 7-8 weeks to travel, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
I was pretty pleased with that. So it's just when the end comes around, you're just like, man, I just wish we could keep it going.
Yeah.
And the things
I
that
hear you.
make you come back, and you think, if I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't be here right now. But it's okay. It's okay. I like being back in a. I like being back in a
Kind of back in a routine.
routine. I
Yeah.
like being back in a routine.
Yeah.
And
I
the
mean,
last
it's in your.
couple of days at work have been fun. The teachers I work with are great. I mean, today all I did was shoot videos, so
Yeah.
it's not a
Get
bad
your
gig.
got your drone out and worked on your drone pilot skills.
I did work on my drone pilot skills, and let me tell
Yeah.
you something. It was a pretty good test today because I flew it down our street, and there are about 25 different power lines, and they're all at different heights. And I know I flew it right between several of them, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting pretty
You
good at
did
this
you
now."
did this number.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good.
What's it going on?
How y'all doing? Wandering buffaloes.
Wandering Buffalo Adventures. Kai and Lisa. Who we
Never
got?
know.
Is it Kai or Lisa?
Never know where them suckers are.
Oh, there's Miss Gia.
My wife is probably out walking the dog.
Walking the
So,
dog. Watching the
yeah,
dog.
she was getting kind of happy feet and wanted to. 1,000 Trails and More is on Instagram. David Reasoner's on Instagram watching
Hey
us right
guys.
now. So appreciate it. This is Kai.
All right on, Kai.
Yeah.
How's the weather out there in the ocean?
Is he in the ocean?
No, he's all out in the ocean. He came
Isn't
home
there a
long.
tropical storm down there somewhere? Or is that on the East Coast?
I,
I don't know where it's at, but there is one.
no, I don't know. I don't know where this one's at.
Well, all I know is it's sunny and hot here and sipping some Logic Overland coffee.
That's right.
And it's
You
got a
know,
little bit of stuff in it.
yeah, you got it
Yeah,
doctored up a little bit.
I do.
You know, I have, yeah, I bet. Hey, babe, she's always watching. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that song from the 80s.
Always
Somebody's
feel like
watching me.
somebody's
Somebody's
watching me.
watching me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, there was
Well,
something I was going to say, but I can't remember now what it was.
that's what happens at our age, buddy.
It
That's what
does.
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure does.
Well, we're fixing to get this thing rolling. You are watching the Overland Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Here we go. Thank you for joining us on the live recording of the Overland Podcast. Coming to you live each week, talking about all things overlanding, outdoors, and 4x4 related. We're glad that you're here. We hope you participate in our show by dropping your comments down in the comment section, because that's where they go. Drop us a bro pose, tag us, and we'll send you something cool. Here we go. The Overland Podcast. No pros, just bros. I'm going to have to make a new video because I don't even look like you anymore.
Nope.
You don't.
Nope.
Arla
Now
said,
that
thank
song's
you.
stuck in my head.
I
You
always
are welcome,
feel
hon.
like somebody's
Somebody's
watching
watching
me.
and I got no
Galen, appreciate
privacy.
you.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're ready for some cooler weather as well. So we talked about that last week when we did episode 1 of That Was the Worst. We talked about the coldest we had ever been, the hottest we had ever been, the worst campsite. Ain't got no privacy. Um, and so we're going to continue that tonight because I sat down with my wife and I said, I need some good topics. I need some good topics. What was give me some stuff for that was the worst. That was the worst. And man, she started rattling them off because that's the way her mind works. She just like a wealth of information. You never want to go. If I could get her on Jeopardy, oh my goodness, we would be millionaires. Uh,
Yeah.
I walked through the house one time, and the trivia show on TV, and she answered every single question. And I looked at her and I thought, I'm kind of scared right now.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
she
because
just
intelligent
kind of
people are
smart that
scary.
way. Yeah.
They're scary.
See,
So,
Arla's that way about songs. You could take her on a show about lyrics, anything
mhm.
like that, and she would kill it. She knows every lyric to every song ever written. I mean, it seems like it's crazy.
Skid Plate, appreciate you, man. Number 1 on his Spotify list. Oh,
Right on,
love
dude.
that. Love that. You know, we've never received any kinder words, and we are both married. So that means a lot. I'm just telling you that right now from the bottom of my
Good.
heart. From the
Right on.
bottom of my Chili
Chili
Nelson
Nelson
heart.
Hart. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
To
anyway,
y'all, anybody that don't know, Willie Nelson is Arla's favorite country western singer.
by a
So
long ways.
yeah. So
By a long ways.
that didn't take long.
Brother, ew. Brother,
Ew.
brother,
Ew.
ooh. I love that. So anyway, we was talking about that was the worst. Yeah, 1,000 Trails and More says so much talent, and that's the way we
Hey,
are. So I've got some good ones this week, man. I've got
okay.
some good ones. I'm just gonna throw them at you. You're just gonna bring them off the top of your head,
Yeah.
and
To everybody
and
listening,
we're
I
gonna
don't
talk
know
about
what
this,
the topic is, so it's
and
going to be
and
good.
it's just a quiz bowl for Tony. Tony's
Okay.
like in the 7th grade again. We're going straight quiz bowl. He's good on his feet, even though he's not on his feet right now. He's good on his feet. And so, if you have answers to these questions, uh, oh my gosh, skid plate. I was in Pennsylvania. My goodness, I was just in Pennsylvania in July. I hate that I did not know that before now, but we're going back. We're going back because I love the Northeast. Love the Northeast. So anyway, Tony is he's going to rattle these off. And also, I would love to have some participation because I know other people's going to have different input about the things that we are going to question. And so, if you'll give us yours, it would actually broaden the show, and it would be great. So, the first
All
thing I
right.
want to ask you, Tony, what was the worst? What is the worst mistake that new overlanders can make? Isn't that good? That's a good question.
See, you remember that part like just a few seconds ago where you said that I was good on my feet and I
Okay,
would
I'm gonna give
I
you
would
some
just be able
time.
to
I'm gonna give you some
rattle these
time
off.
to think about it, and I'm gonna give you my answer to this question. When they think that they have to go and buy everything that they need before they go,
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say.
that's the worst thing you can do. I swear. Uh,
The
oh my
worst
gosh,
thing,
it
yeah,
play online maps without consulting a paper map. You know, I always love stopping at the national forest places to see if they have paper maps. There, a lot of them don't, but the ones that do, those are gold because I guarantee you, in about 5 years, they ain't gonna be making those anymore.
yeah.
And so I always grab those, and I have stacks and stacks of maps. I love them. But
So,
my, go ahead, go ahead.
what I was just going to kind of build on that is um, I get a sense from some people that they don't go because they feel like they're not equipped or they don't have what they need to go out and have a good time.
Hmm. Well, it is kind of I don't know. It's overwhelming to think, okay, I'm going to go out into the middle of nowhere where there's nothing. If I forget something, it's not going to be available. If something breaks, I'm not going to have any help. And so my advice to you, go with somebody. Go with somebody. You don't have to have everything, because I promise you, if I don't have it, Tony has it, and if Tony don't have it, I have it, and if my fridge breaks down and I lose all my food, Tony's gonna be able to feed me and everybody else that's there. That's the way
Hey,
it works.
if I forget my scuttle legs at home, I'm gonna automatically know that you're gonna have 2 sets of scuttle legs with you. I mean,
Only
that's
one
just
scuttle, but
yeah,
2 legs,
yeah.
and I
So
don't know why. I don't know why. It's just weird. It's
my
just weird.
wife hit the nail on the head, overpacking, you know.
Overpacking, taking too much, thinking, I'm reading a book right now, and we're gonna interview the guy here in a couple weeks. Um, Glenn Van Pesky, he started Gossamer Gear, and he talks about do less, live more. I mean, take less, live more,
Yeah,
or take less, do more, something like
right.
that. That's his byline, and he goes through this book, and he's talking about finding out what made him comfortable, and then and then applying that to backpacking. Because if you're backpacking, everything that you want to take and overpacking is not fun because you have to carry all that stuff. It's a little bit better in overlanding because you can throw it in the car, throw it in your Jeep or whatever. But if you have to take it on your back, it's a whole different ballgame. And so, yeah, overpacking, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to have everything to go. In fact, I would highly suggest you go to figure out what you need because everybody's
Mm,
different.
yep.
Everybody's different. If everybody wasn't different, there wouldn't be so many people having overland swap meets right now because there's people out there saying, I need that. And the person who has that don't need that and don't want that for some reason because it's, this or that. Um, Tim says, if you go alone, know your rig, carry spare parts for common issues with your rig. Totally agree. That's why I like traveling with Brad because Brad and I have the same chassis and he carries one of everything, so I don't
Yeah.
have to. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thanks, Brad.
And to kind of go along with that, tell somebody where you're going and when you're supposed to be back.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or take a inReach with you or a spot or something like that so you
Yeah.
can get a hold of somebody. Newfound Overland is on Instagram and they said, Tony,
Hey, what's up?
that's pretty typical for Benji right there. That's,
Yeah.
Benji knows 2 words and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So appreciate you joining us, Benji. Worst gear. What is something you thought it would be awesome and it was crap? Too hard to set up, too much room, too heavy. That's tough. That's tough because I'm a gearhead. I'm a gearhead. But what's that one thing you installed on your truck and after you got it on there and took it out one time, you could not wait to get that stupid thing off?
I
I can
feel
tell you
like
right now.
I feel like there's something specifically that I did that
I got several things. My Oz tent was one of them. Ground tenting
mm,
was for the birds because everything went inside the FJ, and once we took everything, mattresses, cots, pillows, blankets, all that, threw all that in the FJ, there wasn't any room for anything else. And
hmm
so that was for the birds. That was stupid. And then I had the world's biggest awning, which was so heavy it made my trailer lean to the
yeah,
side over there like that, and it was just redonkulous. It was just stupid. And
yeah,
so, skid play. My name is Patrick Evans, by the way. Feel free to look me up when you do. Up here again. Also, worst gear in my opinion, never bought one, is a rooftop tent. Hey, everybody's got their opinions, and
yeah,
it's not for everybody. And I will gladly look you up, brother. I
yeah,
appreciate that invite.
yeah.
Appreciate
Patrick, I was one of those people. Told myself I would never have a rooftop
it.
tent. I
Same here.
just couldn't justify it. I
Me
grew up
too.
ground tenting, and I mean, the more I was around them, and the more I started, kind of looking into them, I just anyway,
Well, I
I
can tell
wouldn't
you
have bought
right
a
now
ground tent.
on my number one thing on the worst piece of gear that I ever installed on my FJ was that soft top rooftop tent. It was awful. I hated that. I hated opening it. It was even worse putting it back up. But for one guy, I'm too short to be able to reach that zipper, that 90-mile zipper that goes all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an awning, you're having to stuff up underneath the awning or over the top of the awning to get that stuff in there. And it was just, it flapped in the wind. It was like having a windbreaker up there on top and cut my mileage down. It was just not fun. I hated that thing and I could not wait to get it off. Skip Plate says lots of weight up high, asking for trouble in the Northeast. Here with the trees out west, they're better suited. True. That's
That's a
why.
good point.
That's why I have an aluminum shell that is low
Pro.
low pro, and it'll take a beating. I've sit that thing through a beating, but you know, for me, I know that is the way for you, but for me, that's probably my favorite thing I own. I love sleeping up high. I love that it pops up in 30 seconds. I love that it pops down in about a minute, and it's so easy. Everything's up there. And that I had with ground tenting, I don't have enough room inside my vehicle to carry everything. Now, if I carry my backpacking gear, sure.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of difference in comfort in a 4-inch memory foam mattress, you know, than 2-inch inflatable mattress that I sleep on when I'm backpacking. So it's a lot different. It is a lot different.
You know, I could see, you know, ground tent, maybe one of the old school coolers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't used a cooler except for when we go kayaking. I use a little soft sided cooler for that, but I don't put that in the same category as like a food cooler. And then this might be controversial, but a solar panel.
Ooh.
I don't use a solar panel.
Huh. No, don't you have some on your trailer?
Yeah. Well, I mean on the trailer,
Yeah,
but
but not on your
not on my truck. I have 2 portable solar panels that I never take on my truck.
never use.
Never use.
Is it because of inconvenience or because they're just a pain in the butt to set up all the time? Because I know you've used them before.
I have,
But I know you've also tested to see if you're actually getting anything out of them too.
I have, and they were kind of a pain to set up. But what I realized after I got it all kind of sorted out where it's at, I'm not consuming that much power, so I don't really need to. You know, I'm not staying put more than, you know, like I didn't, like this last weekend, camped with Oki over in Oklahoma. And once I parked, you know, midday Friday, I didn't start my truck until I went to leave on Sunday. Didn't need any additional source of power or anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe just depending on the setup, maybe the solar panel is something that I don't really need.
Yeah. Well, you know, he has a good point. Skid Plate has a good point, and a lot of people are going to this, moving inside their vehicle on a sleeping platform. A lot of people that used to have rooftop tents, and you know, the older I get, the older my friends get, and it seems like the older my friends get, the lower to the ground they end up sleeping, because climbing up and down that ladder is not fun. It is not fun.
It's hard on knees and ankles. Too easy to charge with 20 minutes. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right, Tim.
DC to DC.
I mean, my wife is one. My wife is one that sleeps on a platform in her Jeep.
Yeah.
You know, she's been in her Jeep as much as she's been in the trailer this year. I think.
1,000 Trails and More said his worst thing was a potty tent.
Oh, dude. Yes. I've got a potty tent that I absolutely despise.
I used to have one of those that folded up like the thing that goes in your window.
Oh, no.
And I did a video one time on trying to fold that thing back up, and I ended up setting it on fire because that just drove me absolutely insane. So you got to have a special degree to be able to do that. I can't.
Hey, we have. It was an expensive one. It was an OVS, and we still have it. But the base of it is like 50 inches square.
I remember that you took it down to Big Bend. Yeah,
yeah. And so we couldn't keep the sides tight, like the way it was designed. The sides
and the wind was
sagged.
blowing. It was like this.
And you had to stand at an angle. Like, yeah.
No. I love it.
So I don't
Uh,
know. It's a toss up, but
he says it'll make you
that
lose your
might
religion. I love it. That's so funny.
he might be onto something there with that potty tent. So yeah.
Oh, I got another one.
All
Got
right,
another one.
hit me with it.
What is and you I guarantee you're gonna come up with this one quick. What's the worst thing you can do while camping in a group to not be a horrible campmate?
Just being loud and obnoxious to your neighbors.
That's good. I got one. Run a generator.
Oh well, kind
Whew.
of same deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
No weather inside the Jeep. No bugs if it gets cold. Yep. I start the Jeep, run the heat, fall back asleep. If it gets hot, I start. Yeah.
That is one way to have air conditioner and heat is to sleep in your car.
Yeah.
That's true. Climate controls in the trunk. What? I love it. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool beans, man. You got your setup figured out. And that's what we love to hear.
So
Yeah.
put his picture back up there. What's his rig?
He's got a Jeep Commander.
Oh,
Jeep Commander.
it's got a little bit of a snazberry look to
Yeah,
it.
it does
I
have
kind of like
Snazberry.
that.
Where is that?
Anyway,
There's skid plate. Bright lights at
yeah.
night.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree. What's those Devos?
Yep.
Devos is ruining campgrounds everywhere, campsites everywhere. People set those things up first thing, and it's like, bah, the Martians are coming down. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy cow,
Yeah.
what the crap? The
Yep.
lights that I have at camp are USB plug, and they're little old bitty, and they don't put off much light because I don't want a whole lot of light.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, generators for me. Don't run
I
a generator
mean,
by me. If you want to do that, go to a campground. Drive me insane. But anyway, what is the worst? What is the worst trail you've ever been on? Hardest, boring, beat you to death. What is that one? And I can't ever think of the name of it. I've told you before that I cannot stand this trail. When you take Black Bear down and you take the other one back, what's the other one back?
Imogene,
No, the other one, the short one, the one
Ophir.
that's Ophir. I hate that trail. It's nothing but gigantic rocks for like 2 miles, and you're just sitting there, you're just pounding your
Yeah,
stuff like this.
it's rough.
It's
It's
nothing but
pretty
that.
rough.
I hate
It's
hate that trail.
yeah, yeah. If you drive a
Should
Toyota,
have
it
said
is
my
pretty
last one.
rough.
What? Driving a Toyota. Look at there. They said the same thing.
Yeah.
I hate that trail. It's so rough. It's stupid. It does
Oh,
have good
it's
views.
beautiful. It's a
It does
beautiful
have good
trail.
views. It does
It's a
have good.
short.
If you can
The
see the views from not banging your head against the window and the person next to you because it's so freaking rough. I can't
You
stand it.
know, it's actually kind of fitting that you brought that up. You know, because I was struggling with what might be the worst trail, and the fact that you brought up Ophir reminds me of something. Good burn, Tony.
Thanks, babe.
Reminds me of something that happened to us when we were on Ophir. So a full size truck. It has you've seen them that have this camper that sits inside, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so, when you go over the pass at Ophir and you go down to the first switchback and you're coming back, you can look up and you can
Yep.
see the vehicles coming over the pass.
Yep.
When we got to that first little corner right before we turn left on that long stretch that's beautiful, we looked up and we saw one of those trucks coming over the pass, a full size truck, I kid you not, with one of those big campers in the bed.
I bet he was just bouncing himself to death on that whole
No
thing.
kidding, because we because of what you said, it was rough. We were going slow, and we got down to I don't know, maybe a quarter mile down,
Hmm.
and that I looked in my mirror, and that guy was on our bumper.
What?
Yes, he passed us on the way down.
He must have had Baja suspension on that thing
Oh,
or
when
something.
he went by, you know how it's like a cartoon. His truck
Yeah.
was doing this, and the
The
camper was
camper's
going
doing the other
opposite.
way.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was going up, and he stopped next to us, and yeah, because I pulled over, and he rolled his window down. I said, "Hey, man," he said, "Hey," and I said, "How do you get your pants on?" He said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Dude, that was crazy for
Yeah.
you to catch up with us like that." Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Some
so
people don't two craps about the rig.
Yeah, maybe.
So
So
I
I
I have
okay.
I've,
So I
I've
give you
been in
gopher.
I've been in Animas Forks and saw one of those trucks going up Cinnamon, climbing up Cinnamon to go over there. I was like, good luck, dude. Good luck, dude. Skid Plate was telling us wanted you to know about his deal. 2006 Jeep Commander,
A
4 inch
inch
lift,
lift.
the tires,
Right
paint
on.
wine red. So it is wine red. Yeah,
Yeah.
no
All
low, no
drive,
high.
no low, no high, auto. 3 rows, factory triangulated 5-link rear, IFS front.
Huh?
Okay.
I don't know what that is. It must be Jeep talk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
speaking my language.
I have another worst trail. It was several years ago when I went out with Express Rally. They went down that trail. You remember the trail that we were going to go up when we were with Brad, and you said there's no way of getting up that trail.
Mhm.
Went down that trail, the one that's just east of Ozone. That
Oh yeah, that
it
one's
was
pretty
like
hairy
rock
going down.
ledges. It's like rock
Yeah.
ledges, and then you get down there, and it has some of the uh, deepest washouts I've ever seen. We were right
Mhm.
behind the cook that was pulling a trailer, and he turned his trailer over in that. I mean, that wasn't fun. I didn't like.
Yeah, so I was running down that hill with Blue Line Overland,
Mm,
and I was behind Lehman's dad in his Xterra,
yeah.
and he dropped off one of those ledges, and his back tires came off. I thought he was going over forward. I saw every bit of his skid plate,
Mm,
every bit of it between the
mm.
axles.
I guarantee you, I was on two wheels several times
Yeah.
for minutes because
Hmm.
it was not fun. I didn't like that at all. And
Hmm.
I had Mo and Mariah were following me.
Hmm.
That's the first time I had met them, and they had just bought their Forerunner. It was brand new, had less than 5,000 miles on it, and they were going down through there, and I was puckering for them. My goodness, I didn't like that a bit. Oh, worst breakdowns. What's one of your worst breakdowns you've ever had?
Oh, it just happened. It
Yeah.
just happened. Yep. Um, it was the last Go Explore trip that we went on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Electrical battery.
Yeah, electro. My
Mm-hmm.
battery, my teeny tiny lawnmower battery on my
Your
Jeep.
little bitty
Little
Jeep
teeny
battery,
tiny one. The little teeny
just
tiny
got a
one that's
little bitty
buried
Jeep
under
battery.
6 layers of other Jeep parts that takes half a day to get to.
Every time
Yep,
we
that.
say something, Tim says it was my last. That's funny. Tim,
Yeah,
Tim, you need to
yeah.
write a
He
book,
had
brother. Need to write a book.
his was so bad it kept bugging him that he just said, "Screw it, I'm going back home." I
Yeah,
mean,
had to put a whole new motor in his vehicle.
I
Now I've done
felt bad for
mine.
him.
Two of mine have been coming back from something in Missouri. So there's a curse in Missouri somewhere because uh, I had two really bad things coming back from Missouri. But one of mine was coming back from More Expo, and light came on. It did something weird and jerked me a little bit, but then we drove all the way home. That was just right out of Springfield. I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I tried to clear everything out, wouldn't clear out, and I took it to the Toyota dealership, and they said your wheels almost fell off. Your rear wheels
Oh yeah, I
almost
forgot
fell
about
off.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was coming home from
both
more.
rear wheel bearings were just completely gone.
That was coming home from more.
That's coming home for more.
Yeah.
And then the one before that, we were coming home from the Go Explore uh, exploratory trip. Um, and we had to leave a little early because the FJ was doing something weird, and my drive shaft was bent almost at like a 30-degree angle, and my headers were cracked, and that was $2,000. So that was a good one. And
That,
I could say I'll come back in a couple weeks and tell you my worst breakdown because it's in the shop now, and I don't still know what's wrong with it. So
See, that whole bent drive shaft thing, that must be a Toyota thing because Misty just bent her drive shaft in Colorado too. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't understand. Anyway,
well,
sorry.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
never mind.
It's probably because we're not running 55-inch tires. It's probably.
It's a funny
Throttle
game
pedal stopped working because of a bad wheel space speed
with speed
sensor.
sensor. Throttle
Throttle
by
pedal.
wire. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
I'm not throttle by wire. Mine's electronic, but I lost my throttle too. That's why mine is in the shop right now. So I don't know. Um, we'll see. But I know there's people out there. Gosh, everybody breaks down eventually, you know. And even when I posted about it, I said I knew this day would come. I knew this day would come, but I was not looking forward to it, and really
Right.
was hoping that it wouldn't be this week. But anyway,
Right.
well, hey, let's pause real quick for station identification, and we'll be right back after we talk about our sponsors. Here we go.
The Overland Podcast is proudly supported by Timbo Tusk, Shop Overland Apparel, Okie Overland, We Boost, Zero Breeze, Steadfast Overland, The Overland Shower by Adventure Trail Outfitters, Snap Mounts, Blackbeard Fire Starters, X Beyond 360, Logic Overland Coffee, MC Ranch Overland, Moreflate, Midland Radio, Northbound Expeditions, in cooperation with Natural State Overland, Go Explore USA, Jasper Jeep Jam and Overlanding Rally, and Overland of America. We also support nonprofit organizations such as Blue Line Overland and Warriors in the Wild.
Very cool. So,
Yep.
none of those mentioned are the worst. They're actually
That is right. That is right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, happens just roll with the punches. You're right. Happens just roll with the punches.
Yep.
It would be nice to have a brand new vehicle. It would be nice to have 200,000 YouTube subscribers and have Toyota calling you say, "Hey, I know you've got 2 Jeeps, but why don't you drive this new Land Cruiser around? That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?" Yeah, cool. Okay.
So, I can probably do that.
Not everybody can be Brad though. That's all right. So this is gonna be a funny one, and this may hurt some feelings, but we'll throw it out there and see. What is the worst vehicle that you have ever seen made into an overlanding vehicle? I've seen a Prius.
You have?
I've seen a Prius with a snorkel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I had seen that, that'd probably be at the top of my list. But
and another one that I just don't get is these gigantic earth roamers. I just don't get them. I don't get them. Why
I mean, they just
need a mobile home on a 6x6 frame? I just don't get it.
I mean, one of my goals for doing what I did to this Gladiator was to build it to go places where, you know, a certain percentage of other people don't go.
Yeah.
And the Earth Roamer is the opposite.
Ha ha! That's a good one, Jarrett. I love that.
Asbury Gladiator. It's
yeah. It's the worst one I've ever seen. Well, you know, it's funny because Jarrett is a Toyota guy, so
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy seeing everybody's journey they're on, whatever rig that they built. So I don't know. I have a hard time.
And that's exactly why I threw this in there. I threw this in there, and my wife said, "Oh, you're gonna make some people mad." I was like, "No, this is fun. We have fun with this because that is one of the reasons that I love going to the expos or Rendezvous or Overland of America or anything like that. Is walking around in the parking lots, and not necessarily in the shows, because in the shows are mostly rigs that never see dirt.
Yeah.
And so if you walk out in the parking lot, you will see a million different vehicles, setups, different things like that, because everybody's got a different way of doing it. And I love that. I think it is so cool to see how everybody lives.
Hey, I've had some good ideas by doing that exact thing. Just walking around, looking at other rigs, talking to people, and will not be upgrading vehicles, just doing a heart transplant on Atlas. 4-liter out of a XJ. Heck yeah.
Pull another motor out or swap it out.
That's right.
Sounds cool. I love it. I love seeing the non-typical vehicles. When Michael had his Jeep. What
Jeep
was that?
Liberty.
Liberty.
Yeah.
That was the biggest piece of junk I've ever seen. But he loved it, and he wheeled that thing. And every time we stopped, he had to raise the hood so the motor would cool off on it, so it would start again. It was hilarious. But he wheeled the tar out of that thing, and I loved it. I thought it was great. But
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because my daughter has got her permit, her driving learner's
yeah,
permit,
yeah,
and we got to get something that she can learn to drive in because she can't see out of our Jeeps, so the Jeep Liberty is actually one that we've kind of looked around at.
yeah.
Yeah.
The new smaller Jeeps are cool. I think they're really neat. Most of them are really neat. I like them.
Well, the ones we can afford are like the older Jeep Liberty, the
Yeah,
old style, like the Renegade,
yeah.
But
The old
anyway.
VW Bugs, he says. Yep, totally get you. Those are air cooled too, and when you're going on an air cooled engine, that makes for what might be a little bit of a different. Commander is very popular south of the border, but I have the only overland style Commander in Pennsylvania, as far as I know. There are a few that are pavement presses that I know, but don't see dirt. There's those where we.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I see an FJ Cruiser that has street tires on it, I say that is a very sad FJ.
Oh, that's just
It's
it's
living a
it's like a
horrible life.
sadiator, kind of like a
Yeah,
sadiator.
yeah, it's like those dogs that never get out of a pen. It's just a sad life, and so
Yeah.
that's how they're done. But yeah, totally get that. What is the worst vehicle mod that you've ever seen or ever done yourself? Vehicle mod. For
Well,
me, it was giant tires. That was the worst one that I've ever done. I thought I needed to jack my FJ up, put spacers on, cut my wheel wells out, and take off my mud things on the side, which I cut off. And by the way, if you cut those off, you can't put them back on because you do have to cut them off. And put gigantic, I think they were 35-inch tires. My fuel mileage went to like 6 miles a gallon, and we were out in Colorado, and every switchback I rubbed and made noise. It was awful. I couldn't stand it. It was not fun. Oh,
I'd
that's
I'd probably
funny.
have to
Street
if
tires and a snorkel. I love it.
so I'd probably have to go along with a little bit with that. The truck that I had before my Gladiator, I put
Hmm.
some of the Patagonia MTs on there, and those are a terrible tire for that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated those tires. I absolutely hated them. But
Tires that are wider than the rim. I love that. That's so
yeah,
funny.
yep.
I'm
Kind of
gonna put
reminds you of
26-inch rims with a 28-inch tire on there and
that's
drop
right.
it and lift it.
Get that much sidewall.
The California squat trucks.
Oh,
Uh,
the lean. What's it called? The where you lean back.
yeah, it's the something squat. I don't know what. I think it's a California squat. I don't know. A lot of people would say that the mod that they don't understand the most is a snorkel. That's the one that they don't. So many people say that the California lean. Yeah, he's got it.
Cali lean. Yeah.
But a lot of people would say that they don't understand the snorkel because that's something that people spend so much money on but never use. Because I've only one time in a lot of years have had water come over my hood, and I was really glad I had the snorkel that day. But
Yeah.
that was a lot of money for that 30 seconds of
Yeah.
water coming over my hood. So, um, but
Yeah.
Tim
I
says it's
don't.
not just for water, and I agree.
Yeah.
It puts the air intake up high, and if you have a sealed air intake, it makes it that much better. So, um, looks like a dog taking a. That's
Talking
funny.
back in the bump. A dump.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big snorkel fan. I don't. I
Well,
don't
you're
need a
running
snorkel, but
44-inch tires too.
I, I'm not gonna go that deep. You
That's what
know.
she said. Okay, family show, family show.
Sir, you can't say that stuff around here.
Yeah. But yeah, uh, I know you don't have one, do you?
No.
You don't have one. I didn't think
No.
you did. But I like the way that mine's set up with the what do they call it, the snorkel upgrade, the one that twists in there and filters out the dirt and all that.
This little spinnerooski thing.
Yeah, and it works. It works. You know, if the military uses it, federal government uses it, it works. So
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, I just don't like the way they go up the windshield. And well, you know what? What I really don't like is I don't like cutting the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
that's
dropped mine
the
off
way.
at a shop and I said, I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
I can't watch.
Yeah. So I just make sure and check my air filter and clean and replace it. And
You drilled holes in your roof.
well, that's different. I
Why
like the way it
is that
looked,
different?
but I like the way because the hole wasn't this big. That's why it's different. The holes are small. They're like that.
Yeah. But if you did do that, you would have some really cool like things that you could put like glass in there to see out the top and stuff. That'd be cool.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
Plus,
it's just a
plus,
suggestion.
in the roof, if I screwed it up, I can just buy a new roof. I mean, I suppose I could just buy a new hood too, but
Nah, man, that's just tough.
yeah,
It's tough. I couldn't watch. It was too much. I couldn't do it. But fortunately, he did it right the first time and didn't have to, fix it. So that's good. That's good. What is the worst? What is the worst thing that an overlander can do to give us a bad name with the public?
Go off trails, go on private property off trails.
Go off trails. Man, it happens all the time. And Skidplate was talking about it earlier, only using one set of maps without actually looking at what trail is open or something like that. But setting up campsites where you're not supposed to set up campsites, leaving trash. I was just fixing to say
leaving
that.
trash is.
Oh yeah, they're jumping on the trash thing.
Actually, I was thinking the trash on the first thing, or one of the first things you said about what should you not do in a group, camping in a group, like leaving trash, litter, leave a mess. Yeah. Leave no trace. Stay on the trail. Stay the trail.
Stay on. Pick up your trash. Northbound Expeditions has good trash bins. You should check them out.
Dude, do you want to talk about that now, or you want to wait till the end of the show?
Go ahead.
No, let's wait. Let's keep everybody. Okay, everybody, we got
a huge announcement.
Huge announcement. Stay with us till the end. Okay,
we got some stuff 17 more minutes. So don't
it involves Northbound Expedition. So,
what is the worst? What is the worst overlanding trend? What's overdone? What's overdone? The first thing that popped to my mind is that every person that buys a rig and goes camping creates a such and such overland name. That is crazy. I've never seen that with anything else.
So you're saying the word overland is overused?
I'm saying that every single person thinks they have to create a title for their whatever they do.
Yeah.
Weekend overlander or blah 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 overlander or whatever. I've never seen that with anything else. Traction boards are a good one too. I've got traction boards on my rig. I've never used them. I've never, not once, used them. Now I do have the other ones.
Max Tracks?
No.
Or the Go Treads?
The Go Treads. I have the Go Treads, and I use them almost every time I camp. Not because I've gotten stuck, because I need to level my place off. Because I hate sliding down the end of my tent when I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, you got to level. Oh, I don't know. I mean,
what's overdone?
Maybe.
What's the worst trend?
The worst trend.
Another thing that I would throw into here in this category is that instead of the trend now is that people are not going camping anymore. They're going to events. Almost every single weekend, there's an event. There's a Rigs and Coffee. There's a Rigs and Whiskey, or there's a expo, or there's a this, or there's a that. It seems like there's one every single weekend, and Thousand Trails and More. Everybody has stickers. Uh,
Yeah, there's no problem with stickers. Thousand Trails and More. All the stickers.
Skid Plate says, I disagree with the name thing, though. Lots of people make their names to be identified in the community. True. Very true. And, on Instagram, very few people use their real name. And so that makes sense. But it stems from CB handles. So my CB handle was Jackknife, if anybody wants to know that.
Well, that's jacked up.
It was. But let me tell you how I got it. I drove a milk truck, 42-foot tanker, into milk barns that were built for bob trucks, for like 22-foot bob trucks. And we had to jackknife those trailers in there, and I was really good at it. So they started calling
They called you Jackknife.
They did. It was
fun. I don't know. So a worse trend for overlanders?
Yeah. May have to think on that one. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm stumped on that.
There's got to be one, though.
There has to be. I don't know about the name, but I kind of get what you're saying. Overland, it's used a lot. I use it a lot every day.
It's used a lot.
But I don't know that that's...
It's probably not the worst, but it's annoying.
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Let me think on that a little bit. Maybe something more.
Yeah, I need to sleep. And if I get some sleep, things are so annoying. What is the worst sickness you've ever had while you've been traveling? You ever been sick while you're traveling? Where you've been camping? Got sick? Got the Montezuma's Revenge? Fellow truck driver.
Flatbeds, rollbacks, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had strep throat real bad one time when we got to camp. Yeah.
Fever? Did you have fever with that?
Oh, I had it really bad. Yeah, I had a fever with it.
Oh, and that's contagious.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I had it. Another time, actually, when we went to Florida, I was taking an antibiotic when we got down there, and it was kind of antibiotic you can't be out in the sun with, and I forgot that.
Oh, no, you get sunburn real bad.
Oh, I was miserable.
Kai says altitude sickness, and I've had that. Oh my gosh.
He had it bad when he went to Colorado this last time.
Let me show you. Let me show you right here.
Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Yeah. Yeah.
Never leave home without it, boy. Never leave home without the oxygen. Because boost. I've had that, and I also try to work in a day where you climatize. So I always try to stop in New Mexico before I go to Colorado, because I've been out there, and we weren't even camped at like super high elevations. When me and Scott went out there, we were at like 8,000 feet, and I was trying to set all my stuff up in about 10 minutes. I had the absolute worst headache that I have ever had in my life. I couldn't catch my breath, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kai had it bad. He when they went to Colorado, I think they just hit the ground running, hitting the trails and stuff. And before you know it, he had to go get one of those machines to carry.
Oh no!
Carry with him. Yeah, he went to the clinic. He got real sick, but
yeah.
I've not had any like sickness. When we went up to Pikes Peak that one time, we got up there and my wife and I, opened the tailgate and got some stuff out to have a picnic lunch. Everything was good, and then we started to walk across the parking lot, and I couldn't walk in a straight line to save my life. I was like,
yeah. Yeah, I noticed Skid Plate talked about Benji clutching the boost, sucking the oxygen. Yeah, he was struggling up there. He was struggling. He looked like he was on a 9-day drunk. is what he
Yeah.
looked like. His eyes were like almost trying to close, and his hair was all messed up, and he looked like a homeless man that was
And
carrying around a bottle of mouthwash.
he
It
didn't even
was
have any
so
pants
funny,
on.
and he didn't have any pants.
It was like Tony up there not taking them pants.
I love it. I love it. My goodness.
Anyway,
Uh, I love it. That's just so much fun to talk about. What is the worst mistake you can make while overlanding? Ooh,
worst
there's so
mistake?
many. There's so many. The thing that um the thing that comes to my mind, you remember when we went down to Big Bend and we were camped down there. We slept in one day. It may have been the day that we got up and took showers or something like that. But it was like 10 or 11 o'clock before we got to the park, and the line to get into the park was just outrageous long. I mean, we were there an hour. But like the day before when we went in early, there was nobody. We pulled right
Mm,
in.
yeah.
And we've had that same experience every time we've went to a national park. If you don't get there early, you're waiting in line the whole time you're there. And so anyway, I don't know if that's the worst mistake you can make while overlanding. Probably the worst mistake you can make while overlanding, I almost made on the Go Explore trip, because I was looking at my maps while driving on a little mini shelf road beside the river and almost ran into the river. And so pay attention where you're going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll end up like, one of those guys on Blackberry upside down and in the hospital.
I mean, probably the worst mistake I've made might be going to Big Iron last year without any pants.
You didn't have no pants?
Don't you remember last year I didn't have no pants? I had, Arla came down on Friday and I had to beg her to stop, bring me some pants.
Huh.
You
Because
don't
it was
remember that?
cold? Was it
Yeah.
cold?
It was, the forecast was cool. I thought I would be all right with, my normal shorts and hoodie, but I was sadly mistaken.
Hmm. Yeah, going to an off-road park, skid plate. I've been to a couple off-road parks, and they're just not my thing. They're not my thing.
Yeah.
Um, you pay money to beat the crap out of your car. Is what you're doing, because most of those places are made for buggies,
Mm-hmm.
and so anyway. But
I
watch
mean,
where you're going. Be careful.
yeah,
You
yeah. I
know.
mean, I've been pretty fortunate. I don't know that I've got anything, significant, to call a mistake,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I haven't made a mistake that actually cost me. Uh,
hmm
I've had some oh crap moments, a lot of them.
yeah.
Because you get out there anywhere, you get on a trail anywhere, and you're on the trail for a certain amount of time, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you get careless. And a lot of times when you get careless, you're not paying attention. You rub up against that tree, or your tire slides off the edge, or, anything can happen. And so you just have to be careful. Thousand Trails and More says not checking the updates on weather. Um, that's ran into us. In fact, we talked about that last week when we talked about the worst weather we had been in. Um,
Yep.
it's that weather can move in quick, and it can be on top of you. And a lot of times you don't know because you're out there with no service.
I
So anyway,
suppose if you were to break it down, just the worst mistake you can make is to not be prepared,
not be prepared.
whatever
Yeah,
the case may be. If it's clothes, if it's weather, if you're overpacking your fridge and you don't have the right things in there, like if you got it
man,
full of drinks and you don't have enough room for food, and then you get stuck somewhere and you run out of food. I mean,
make a checklist.
yeah,
Make a checklist. It's so easy to make a checklist on your phone or on your computer or anything. And that way you won't be this person that'll tell a story one day. Yeah, we went off and drove out in the middle of nowhere and didn't have any food. We forgot our food, or we forgot clothes, or uh, we didn't have this, or we didn't have that. No toilet paper, and we had to wipe with leaves. It's just one of those things where uh, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. So just make a list. I'm not into the heat. Prefer cool weather. Don't mind rain. Hope to meet up with y'all
yes, sir.
sometime for the adventure. Hope to get on the podcast one day. Man, that'd be awesome. Love to have that. But right now, we're kind of at the end of this show, and we've got a big announcement coming up. So on September the 3rd, we are hosting the guys from Overland of America. They're coming on the show. It is the week before the show. It is the week before the Overland of America event. And we are partnering with them to do a huge giveaway. Tell them about it, Tony.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a drawing, and we're giving away to one lucky winner entry. All right, first off, we're giving entry and camping to the Overland of America.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't stop just there, and this is still kind of in the works. We've got a lot of feelers out there, but along with that, we are also giving away one Midland MXT 575, 1 year elite membership to Onyx Off-Road.
That's $100.
Yep. A tailgate garb 2.0 from our friends up at Northbound Expeditions. So if you're not familiar what that is, it's like the spare tire trasharoo kind of design for tailgate. You can go to my Instagram. You can see one on my truck.
I've got one on my trailer, and it will go on a tire.
And it will go on a tire. We're also, Joey, I forgot to mention this to you a while ago, but we're going to be giving away some the Overland Podcast T-shirts, or Professor Bats and Friends T-shirts.
Okay.
We're going to, they're going to,
excellent.
Jared's going to hook us up with that.
Sweet.
And then so far that we're going to talk about this evening, like I said, we got some others that we're working on, but free entry and camp to Jasper Jeep Jam and Overlanding Rally in March. So all in a couple weeks, but yeah, we're excited.
I love it.
One lucky winner.
We will do that announcement tomorrow and tell you what you got to do to win that. It will be easy. There'll be nothing to it, and most of you have already done most of the homework. So it's going to be.
It's going to be just the like, follow, subscribe, share, kind of tag.
No big deal, and we'll build a name list off that, and you tag your friends, and they follow us, and we get a lot of listens on our podcast, and we like that. So, and we want people to show up to Overland of America as well. But we want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors who are participating in this, and it is going to be a big deal, and we are excited.
That's right. Hey, I don't know if you saw Skid Plate's last comment. I've downloaded that. I have actually downloaded and perused through that checklist. He talks about
for
the Expedition Overland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Pretty cool. It's a good deal.
So anyway.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We have had a wonderful time talking about the worst. And maybe next week we'll change it up a little bit and talk about the best. I don't know. We'll see. 2 weeks from now, we've got a very special guest, Glenn Van Pesky. Started Gossamer Gear, just came out with a new book. I wish I had it with me so I could show you, but check my Instagram out, or check out the Overland Podcast Instagram. I said something about it. It is a wonderful, wonderful book. It talks about doing more with less, and he's going to come on here. Super famous guy, so I'm pretty excited about that. So
yeah, we're going to be doing a giveaway too with him
too. Yeah. 3 autographed books for him, and also some Onyx subscriptions.
Yeah.
For those who like to get out and walk around.
That's right. Tate Davis in the house. Yo.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Excited. Oh, tight. All right, guys.
Hey,
well,
all right, me buddy.
Thank you for coming on here and joining with us. Make sure you tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, and we will be back talking with you. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful week. On behalf of Tony and myself, we want to give you a little advice of look out for number 1. Don't step at number 2.